Karma yoga, tantra yoga, bhakti yoga. There are so many paths in yoga that it's difficult to know which is the oldest, what the real differences are, and which is best for each person. But to make your life easier, I am here to explain the differences between the paths of yoga and help you decide which one is best for you. And for those who don't know me yet, I am Gigi, your Indo-Brazilian friend, और आपका स्वागत है to our channel. Here, we will look closely at the 6 most widely practiced ancient branches or paths of yoga. More than just different styles of physical yoga, these branches have different stories, philosophies, and intentions to each other, although it is possible to practice more than one. Probably you already heard before, the yoga is often translated as union or connection, as in connecting to the true self, or God, or consciousness. Yoga can also mean separation, as in separating the real from the unreal, true from ignorance, and the true self from the ego. There seems to be a new yoga almost every day. Goat yoga, beer yoga, dog yoga, naked yoga. But are they authentic? In general, all this type of yoga focus on the physical yoga and could all be classified as hatha yoga, as I explain later. However, there is so much to learn when it comes about yoga, and you may even be surprised to know that asana is not only a very tiny part of it, but a teeny part of just one teeny branch of yoga. That's it. But now let's talk about what you really want to know today. The 6 branches of yoga. First, Raja Yoga, meaning royal, king, alluding to be the best or highest form of yoga. Closely linked to Patanjali's 8-fold path of yoga. Raja Yoga is also known as classical yoga. This path is precise and contemplative. It aims to control the intellect and thought through meditation. A connection with God or consciousness is worked towards by unidentifying with the ego-based self and identifying with the universal true self. As a primarily interior practice with little outwards spiritual expressions, it's thought that Raja Yoga requires much self-discipline. Primarily practices are meditation, svadhyaya, that is study of thesis, self-inquiry, and tapas, that is self-discipline, brahmacharya, that is purity. In general, dualistic. Originally, this type of practice was originally intended only for high caste royals who had the time, the education, the means to practice this. 2. Jnana Yoga, meaning wisdom or knowledge. This is the yoga of knowing, of realizing the truth of oneself. First mentioned, I think 400 before Christ, this is thought of as one of the most direct paths to insight and illumination, but also as one of the most difficult. Priests and scholars are most likely to be considered jnana yogis through their practice of constant inquiry, study of philosophical, of yogic thesis, along with discrimination and inquiry, are the ways these practitioners understand the deepest of the body, mind, and spirit. Primarily practices are meditation, svadhyaya, is not dual or not dualistic. Depends on the practitioner perception and perspective. Jnana Yoga are often very open-minded and inquisitive about life and the process of yoga, originally intended for Brahmins. 3. Tantra Yoga, meaning the root word of Tantra is tan, meaning to expand or to wave. It explores all aspects, sensations and energies that wave through the body, mind, and actually began as a religion around 500 before Christ. For over 100 years, it was the primary belief system of India in its less extreme forms, and is the first time physicality of the human body started to become important within a yogic context. Primarily practices are mantras, yantra, kriya, pranayama, asana, meditation, visualization. Tantra is essentially the original form of a non-dualism, and one says it's very much a part of this branch of yoga. A large part of Tantra is focused upon the more subtle elements of the body, mind, and life. Chakras, nadis, yantras, kundalini, and invocation of deities are a large part of Tantric yoga practice. For Hatha Yoga, meaning the yoga of a force, many teachers equate Ha to mean sun and Ta to mean moon. And the reason is because the physical practice is intended to balance the sun and moon energies within us. Whilst the physical yoga practice is intended to bring about a state of equilibrium within the human organism, the real meaning and essence of Hatha Yoga is to change the physical body and mind by a way of experimentation, movement, and physical force. Hatha Yoga is anything that uses the physical body. It is what you are mostly like to practice in class in some form, whether it's called Hatha Yoga, Vinyasa Yoga, Power Yoga, or any of the other names that you see here that use the physical body. The first mentioned and practiced around more than 1000, it's one of the most modern branches of yoga. This branch is in a way actually derived from Tantra, and the most widely celebrated inventor of Hatha Yoga is Gorakshanath, if I'm not pronouncing it wrong, considered a Mahayogi or a great yogi. When it comes to Hatha Yoga, liberation is attained through cultivating a yoga terra or yogic body, probably a little different from what we consider a body to look like nowadays, which is immunity to disease, free from limitations that ordinarily bind human beings. Primary practice: asana, pranayama, mudra, meditation, purification, rituals, bantam, kriya, anything related to the physical body. In general, non-dualistic, intended for householders too. 5. Bhakti Yoga, meaning devotion. First mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita around 300 before Christ, the word bhakt came from the root word bhaj, of which the essence is to share. This form of yoga is based upon the heart, love, devotion towards a chosen deity, or Ishtadeva as we call, much like karma yoga, dedicating all actions towards a deity or God, is intrinsic part of yoga. Much like other branches of yoga, Bhakti Yoga has limbs, anga, for each practitioner to adhere and take part in. Shravana, or listening to sacred scriptures, kirtana, singing devotional songs, smarana, remembering the divine through meditation, ritual service in the feet of the Lord, vandana, prostration before the image of God, dasya, is lavish devotion to the Lord, sakya, friendship through which the divine raises the devoted to status of a friend. Primary practices are mantra, devotional rituals, meditation upon a chosen deity, as I said. In general, is dualistic, and it was intended for householders. 6. Karma Yoga, meaning the yoga of action. The word karma in this context is derived from the root verb kri, meaning to do. First mentioned around 300 before Christ. This form of yoga is the main focus on the Bhagavad Gita. Karma Yoga is based upon selfless service and acting is without expecting something in return, and occupies a large part in Indian thought. And through this practice, union with the divine is achieved to make any action an offering to God. Karma Yoga suggests that we relinquish attachment to the consequences of our actions and instead focusing on the moment in action. Awareness of which thought, word, and deed and mindfulness are important part of karma yoga, which allows the practitioner to truly experience the moment in action. Through the practice of karma yoga, yogis work to benefit the people and the world around them in order to create a unified and enlightened world. Primarily practices mindfulness, selfless service, ahimsa, that is non-violence, can be dualistic or non-dualistic, and is intended for householders, normal people. And if you want to know a good way to practice karma yoga now, is by living a life to help the channel grow. But it's good to remember that a good Hindu should practice a bit of everything. Search for knowledge, learn how to live in a sattvic way, doing practices that are good for our body, mind, and soul, like in Tantra and Hatha Yoga. We should also learn how to live with our heart and mind full of love and devotion towards the whole universe, the all living beings, like in Bhakti Yoga, because it doesn't matter if you get a lot of knowledge, you need to practice, like in Karma Yoga. So a good Hindu should do the best to follow a bit of everything, doing practice, not just for the mind, not just for the body, but for the mind, the body, the spirit, because we know that everything is connected. It's not easy, I know, but this is life, the journey to achieve the liberation through our practice, beliefs here. So we should be always doing our best. All these paths, they are not against each other's. We can learn a bit and practice a bit of everything. Learn how to have devotion towards everyone and the environment around us, have a good lifestyle and help the world be this better place. But anyway, if you liked this video, you want to know, share, leave your comment, give your like. And if you have more questions about Sananda Dharma, put it here and I will do a video replying all your questions in the best way I can. Firmly.